right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Want to talk a little U.S. history. The day Nixon ended the Bretton Woods system, which had gold set at $35 an ounce. They say when Nixon ended that, it caused all kinds of problems for the middle class. Prices for a lot of things spiraled out of control. And what I'm going to show you is why it was done on the date August 15th, 1971, with definitive proof it was the work under the orders of the Catholic Church and the Jesuits, who do control this nation, its government, its monetary policy, its news media. Again, a lot of people think it's the you-know-who's, those who settled in Israel and whatnot. This video will be definitive proof that anyone who has that thought is wrong, and it is the Catholic Church running the show. So notice at this moment, the price of gold is $1,842 an ounce. August 15th, 1971, it was $35 an ounce. So that's nearly a times 53 increase, 53 times as high as it was August 15th, 1971. And just to compare things, the median price for a house in the U.S. was about $25,000 in 1971. Today, the median price in the U.S. is about $380,000. So that's well more than 10 times the increase. Not quite as significant as how much gold has gone up, but the price of homes have drastically climbed. What is that? That's about 14 times higher, 15 times higher. It's about 15 times higher is what it is. Times 15 on the price of a home. And cost of a gallon of milk in 1971 was 50 cents. Today it is over $4, about $4.50. So it's about 9 times higher for a gallon of milk. Gasoline, 36 cents a gallon. 36 cents a gallon in 71. Today, a little more than $3.50. Out here, it's about $4, so more than 10 times. I'm out here on the West Coast. In California, it'd be even more. But again, just the prices of things have drastically climbed in that period of time, but nothing as significant as gold, which was, again, pegged at $35 an ounce. So let's talk about why it was pegged at that amount and why it changed on the day it did. And I thought today is a fitting day to talk about it because today is February 18th, 2/18, and the move was made by Richard Nixon 218 days after his birthday. Now, remember, August 15th is the Jesuit Order's birthday, who served the Roman Catholic Church. And with regards to 218, in Gematria, Holy Roman Empire equals 218. It supposedly folded in history on August 6th, 1806, which was the 218th day of the year, but it is very much alive and well within the Roman Catholic Church, who the Jesuits serve. You could say it's alive and well here in the U.S. since we're controlled by those entities. But 218 days after Nixon's birthday, we'll get to the significance of him being 58 years old at the time. But consider it was the year 71 and the price was $35 an ounce, where it was fixed. Again, Catholic. If you're new here, Gematria is the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. The Knights Templar and the Crusades got their hands on the knowledge of Kabbalah. Throughout Europe, which the Catholic Church ruled over, the ruling class learned about the knowledge of Kabbalah, thus where the term the Cabal came from, meaning the secret ruling class. But Kabbalah, in its teaching, states God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. This is how these people play God. And understand, 71 is a number that represents God in Jewish gematria. But in English, Catholic is 71 and 35. The Society of Jesus, the formal title of the Jesuits, is 71. Again, August 15th is the day in history that they were established in 1534. The day that this move was made in 71, August 15th. Keep in mind it was a move on gold. 71 is the 20th prime number. Gold does have that gematria 20. But with regards to 35, very symbolic number. The I was put on the US dollar bill in the year 35. And in Gematria, I does equal 35. Again, Genesis 3:5 about the eyes of God. Genesis 3:5. Again, the letters EYE are interesting because E's the fifth letter. 5 is the third prime number. 5 is the third prime number. Y is the 25th letter. The square root of 25 is 5, so it comes back to 5. So 5's the third prime. There's 3 letters in the word I. There's 3 eyes in a human being, 2 on the face and 1 in the mind. But anyhow, the I went on the dollar bill in 35. If you're new here, these ciphers, they're very intuitive. They're the alphabetic order with numerology, and then just also running the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology. What's considered the most pure cipher, again, is the alphabetic order with numerology. Jesuitism, Catholic, Holy See, and See spelled like see with your eyes, all 35. And remember, 1225, the day that the Catholic Church celebrates the Son's birthday, the number 1225 has a square root of 35. The Roman name for Jesus, Jesus, equals 35. But here's the big thing. The Catholic Church has celebrated the Son's birthday on 1225 since the year 274 AD. This move by Richard Nixon, August 15th, 1971, was 274 days after the leader of the Jesuits' birthday, the Superior General, also known as the Black Pope. That was Pedro Arrupe at the time. But it was 274 days after his birthday. Jesus hominum salvator, the Jesuit motto, equals 274. For the record, if you run it in reverse, it's 266, like Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope, the 266th pope in the history of the church, who came to D.C. and spoke on the 266th day of the year and the land of the Roman architecture, where the Jesuits have been in D.C. for longer than the federal government. It was once known as Rome on the Potomac, and the land was owned by a man named Francis Pope, not to be confused with Pope Francis, again, the first Jesuit pope, where the Jesuits were born in France on August 15th. But think about this. 274 goes to the original celebration of the Son on 1225, a number connected to 35, and this is the day they unpegged gold at $35 an ounce. But think about how in alchemy, the sun represents gold. Think about how perfect this is. Think about it, because it's absolutely perfect. And by the way, it was Pope Julius I, who in the year 320 AD said that was Jesus' birthday, December 25th. Roman Catholic Church 320. Go figure. And keep in mind that was 46 years later. 46 years later, right? The sun in the sky is God to the pagans. The Catholic Church began as a pagan sun cult who celebrated the birthday since 274 AD. But then they wanted to bring in Christians, so then they also recognized the Son of God, Jesus Christ, 46 years later. Just notice how I is 35 forwards, 46 in reverse. The Son is the I of God. Catholic also 35 forwards, 46 in reverse, like JFK, number 35, killed at age 46. Richard Nixon, by the way, lost to JFK for becoming the 35th president, and that election was 305 days after Richard Nixon's birthday. And then again, Joe Biden, number 46, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, and inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age. Those are the only two Catholic presidents today, JFK and Biden. But also, just on the money, right? In God we trust. But whose money is this really? We know whose money it is. It's the Catholic Church. What is God to the Catholic Church? The Son. Not Jesus. That's the one that they adopted to get more people under their following. But the Son is their God. Real money is gold. In alchemy, the sun is gold. Isn't it interesting that in God we trust equals 68, like Catholicism, like solar system, like mathematics, them doing all of these rituals in accordance with the sun? Remember, in the 16th century, the Jesuits were created. Then after their establishment, English standardized with the spellings, the 26 letters, the vowels we use today. The Gregorian calendar rolled out, named after the Pope. Again, 52-week year, Pope equals 52. And the heliocentric model, which says the sun is at the center of it all. All of those things in the 16th century. The abbreviation for a Jesuit, if you ever see somebody have a SJ next to their name, it means they're a Jesuit. SJ, just the letters, have a gematria value of 16. Keep in mind the Greek name for the sun, Helios. Again, since the Romans overtook the Greeks and adopted a lot of what they were doing, Helios equals 68. So 68 also goes back to the sun. And for the record, in light of the whole Catholicism mathematics thing, this move on August 15th was also 42 days before Pope Paul VI's birthday. And by the way, he'd go on to die in history on August 6th, the 218th day of the year, Holy Roman Empire, a date that can be written 6-8. But the move came 42 days before his birthday at the time. And Jesuit math, New Testament, new, they all have Gematria 42. It was a new system that went into place. A new world order, a Jesuit world order. And don't forget, the Jesuit order overlaps with New World Order in Gematria. And also they say that Nixon had the meeting on August 13th before making the move on August 15th on the Jesuit Order's birthday, but essentially this decision came on August 13th, a date that can be written 13/8, whereas August 15th is the day leaving 138 days left in the year. Nixon shock has that gematria 138 like federal. Very helpful number to us when Donald Trump, whose name equals was 138. When Donald Trump was in office, his name, Donald Trump's 138. But it was very helpful to us because it helped us peg down why the Nationals would beat the Astros in Game 7, 138 days after Trump's birthday. And we had that figured out on the Jesuit Order recognition date, September 27th. But very lucrative payout because the Nationals hadn't even quite clinched the playoffs yet. But remember, he made big waves on Inauguration Day when he got rid of the old man who'd done all the inaugurations, and he got Steve Ray, the Nationals announcer, who was 58 years old at the time, just like how Trump won the 58th election after announcing he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower. And in this case, Richard Nixon was 58 years old when this happened. And that matters. I want to come back to this point, but just about Nixon being 58 at the time, Bretton Woods System, which is what ended, equals 271, the 58th prime. Remember, modern Freemasonry was created by the Jesuit Order. And think about it. The best builders built all the Catholic, structures. Freemasonry, the builders historically, but in more modern times, more of a political power movement. Modern Freemasonry, a Jesuit creation. Freemasonry has the gematria 58 and 158, like how August 15th can be written 15/8. Again, this was a move from the federal government. D.C. is known as the Masonic City, but the Jesuits have been there for longer than the Masons or the Feds. Again, just the relationship between these societies. Don't forget the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, his name equals 58. Freemasonry equals 58 and 59, forwards and backwards, 58, 59, just like Pope Francis. But also on the dollar bill, Annuit Coeptus 58, written in Latin, the language of Rome. In God We Trust, also 58. Here, something that I forgot to put the screenshot in here for. I see it's missing. In light of the sun being the center of it all, the sun's the nearest star, at least how we learn about what's above. Star has that gematria 58, as does stars 58. As does Gregorian, the name of the calendar system we're on, as does the word calendar, which is dictated by the sun, as does zodiac. Again, the sun is gold in alchemy. And just for the record, with regards to Freemasonry, it also has the 139 in it, just like America does. A lot of the founders were Masons. Secret societies, doing things ritualistically, that's kind of just all out in the open if you just know about their dates and their little Kabbalistic code, but most people don't. Also noteworthy, the Bretton Woods Conference. 44 allied nations participated in 44. Remember, this came at the end of the World War, which were instigated by the Jesuits and the Catholic Church by the same code as we've covered in the past. But notice it began on 7-1, kind of like how Catholics 71, then this big move in 71, 27 years later. Again, big ritual number, 27. So the Bretton Woods system went for 27 years, and then it ended. And to be perfectly clear about it, it ended 27 years and 45 days after the meeting date when it began, July 1st. You know what's going on right now over in England. The woman who disappeared on the 27th, on the 45-year anniversary of the last person to disappear at that spot on the river on the same day, and she's 45 years old. Again, if you missed my video on that, it's up from yesterday. Still getting a lot of requests to cover it, which means that nobody got a notification, which is more censorship. But that meeting did end July 22nd, a date that's written 22/7, kind of like 227. August 15th is the 227th day of the year, which is the 49th prime number. And again, that's a big number. America's 49. Words like Scottish is 49. The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, also created by the Jesuit Order. Scottish is 32 the other way. 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. The 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite shares the Ad Merum Dei Gloriam motto with the Jesuits. Kind of like how the Dodgers ended their World Series drought after 32 years against the Rays in the rigged MLB. Scottish is also 103 like Jesuits. But, yeah. Funny thing is, sweet lady, I don't know what made her say it this morning, but she's like, you need to use your knowledge and take advantage of the markets. And I was like, you know what? I think you're right. Because honestly, guys, I decided a long time ago when I was younger that life was not about money and it was about, doing things that make you happy and helping out others. And that's mostly what I made my adult life about. But now I've also come to this point where I'm like, you know what, though? To make any kind of real impact in the world at this day and age is, from as far as I can tell, you got to have resources to get your message out there or get real lucky. Because I've been going at this for a decade, trying to wake people up to what's going on in this world and what's coming. And we've nailed so many correct things. We had everybody ready for 2020 and what they had planned and nailed a million predictions from sports to news. But I'm so sick of this gang, and the way they manipulate the world just gets more vicious as time goes on. And, a lot more greater manipulations are to come. And what's so frustrating is, I know exactly who's doing it, and I'm proving it day after day. And as time goes on and as the work gets better, the censorship gets even worse. And again, the same Jesuits control all the big tech platforms, which is also easily provable with the knowledge as we've already done. It's like why Google celebrates their birthday on the day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome, which is September 27th. Again, their birthday is August 15th. They were recognized by Rome, the Roman Catholic Church, on September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the year to counter the 95 Theses. R.I.P. to Martin Luther, King Jr. on the 95th day of 68. Again, Martin Luther wrote the 95 Theses. But I am thinking going forward, maybe I need to start spending way more time on markets and trying to help, raise all boats. I've always kind of stayed away from the markets, even though I know money can be made there, because I don't want to participate in the giant scheme that it is. But, another part of me is thinking, somehow I need to figure out how to become a multi-millionaire so I have the resources to accomplish the things I want to accomplish. Like hire a big team of people and have a highly skilled video editor. So I'm gonna weigh my mind on spending a lot less time on breaking down the news each day, because I've done that for a decade, right? And it does help free people from the matrix, but it's like time's going on, things are getting worse, not enough people are waking up. So I might have to switch up the tactics, and I might spend a lot more time on markets. We've proven that this knowledge works. We helped a lot of people make a lot of money on the Moderna stock, May 7th, 2020, if you weren't here. Again, notice how vaccine is 57, and so is Bill Gates. Bill Gates backed the Moderna stock. I said, watch, the Moderna stock's going to shoot way up in value on May 7th, 2020. It skyrocketed that day. The whole thing with Bitcoin the other year, we said it would be worth at least $45K by Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year, and that's because Bitcoin's 45 and Nakamoto's 45 and Ritual's 45, and he was 45 years old at the time, so the supposed character Nakamoto, and exactly 45 weeks after his 45th birthday was the 45th day of the year, Valentine's. And I mean, had you say you'd put $1 million down when I said that, you would have had $2 million. You would have had more than $2 million because it actually went past 45K. But it more than doubled in value from the time I said that to by Valentine's Day. And again, that's the thing about investments. That's why the richest people in the world are all investors, because investments can skyrocket. And again, there's the world is made for investors. They get all the tax incentives. Once you have enough money, you don't even have to work anymore. Your just investments do it for you. So I might, from this point going forward, start spending a lot more time on markets and trying to help people build wealth and take advantage of the rig game. And for the person out there who's going, well, things are about to all crash. Yeah, that's probably true. But you know what? That's also when the most money's to be made, because that's also when the most funny games are going on and when stocks go from nothing to a lot overnight. So anyhow, sweet lady this morning, she's like, you should spend your time with the knowledge. And I think she might have just been right on with it. So I just wanted to go back and remind who is manipulating the whole financial system, which we already knew. And again, it's just like we were saying about Bitcoin. You look into Bitcoin, it's all Catholics that pretty much run the whole thing. And IHS, their acronym's another big 45. So from your crypto to all of your markets, it's the same hand pulling all the strings. And yeah, so I mean, and again, you can prove all day that the Catholic Church created Israel too. So for all the people, it's like, nah, it's the you-know-whos. No, you're wrong. Again, 145 more chapters in the Catholic Old Testament. That's the Jewish section. What day was Israel created? 14/5. And what's its name? State of Israel, 201, like the Jesuit Order. Like the number coded over a million things that are Jesuit, 201. First Jesuit Pope, first to live in Suite 201 with the 201 name, like the founder of the Jesuits, and so on and so forth. It wasn't Tricky Dickie's decision on August 15th. He was just the actor in there at the time. But yeah, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Charmed One says Jay with Open Eyes is doing better. That's good. All right, Jay with Open Eyes. Put out a video. Hopefully you're doing better, buddy. We'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Have a good rest of your evening. Time to make dinner over here. And until next time.